Hello, everybody. Football's back. EPL's back after a boring international break. Harges, did you watch any games this past weekend?
You're gonna laugh at me, but I did watch a little bit of Ronaldo
Oh
because
my!
I can't watch the Saudi league, so it'd been a while since I'd watched Ronaldo play. So I watched him pot a couple goals against some
Okay.
minnows. There's some European minnows,
Yeah.
and being Canadian, the Canadian game or like the North American international break was a little more important
Mm-hmm.
because it was technically Nations League. So Canada made
Yep.
the semis. USA, Mexico as well with Panama,
Uh
but
huh.
Canada got lucky in the draw. We got Panama in the semi,
I
so I'd like to
know.
see Canada's going to the final.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Like you guys like choke when you have to choke, so I'm not
Oh,
worried
we're
about
horrible. The fact that we're even here's a success. To be honest, it's
yeah.
all bonus. It's all
Yeah.
bonus. We were losing to El Salvador and stuff all the time.
Yeah, and looks like Messi scored his 100th goal for Argentina. So, again, do anybody care? Probably not, but we have to mention it. Honorable mention.
Yeah, I mean, there was like England, Italy, Spain, Scotland. There's like a couple games that
Yeah,
we should
but
have cared a bit about, but I don't know. It's weird. It's just too early since the World Cup.
mhm.
I wasn't really
Yeah,
craving that dose of international
yeah.
footy.
I think it's like the World Cup in a bad timing, and Euro is next year. So, uh, by the way, Women's World Cup's coming up. Australia, New Zealand, they're playing out there. I think it's going to be exciting. We need to do something about that. Okay, let's jump in to EPL this week. A lot of good games, a lot of good games. But we have to start with the big story. We kind of touched upon it for Conte's spike bombs earlier a couple of weeks back, but he was finally fired. That is like I don't know. Tottenham's been a mess. Like they've like paid like 67 to 68 million pounds to managers because of sacking. So I think they're kind of competing with Chelsea on who's going to pay the sack managers more. So what were your takeaways from the Conte sacking, and what did you think about like how are they going to like manage the rest of the season because they still have the top four bid live?
It just seems like modern footy, right?
Yeah.
Bayern sacked their manager in a good
Oh
position.
my god.
Nobody lasts a long period of time anymore. It seems par for the course. Conte was great when he came,
Yeah.
got them into the top four, and now like they're pretty much the same team they were.
Mm-hmm.
He got them out of the group in the Champions League, and they're like, no, it's not good enough anymore. It's like, well, he's pretty much dealing with the same squad and getting the same results. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just on par. I sometimes joke that they should honestly just give managers 4-month contracts because getting that boost because every club gets a boost. As soon as a new coach comes in, there's always a boost. Always
Yeah.
a boost, you know?
Yeah,
And
but you mentioned Byron. He was doing so good. Like apparently, like his girlfriend was a reporter, and that's why like that's one of the reasons he got sacked. And
okay.
I'm not sure like how like Thomas coming in is going to like help out because they were already in good form. So maybe this is a good thing for Man City.
Maybe, but maybe they also just really think highly of Thomas Tuchel and they didn't want someone else to snatch him up.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Like, is that one of these situations? Because if it was a player and someone
Hmm.
snatched a great player and then they
Yeah.
sold someone who we thought was beneath them, we'd be like, well, they just upgraded. It's different
Yeah.
when we think about it in terms of managers,
Yeah.
right?
But again, it's not like the Nigelman was like any bad. They were winning. They were like a point
It was
away from
fun.
Dortmund. Yeah.
I guess they weren't like 15 points up in Bundesliga, so they're upset. Like their
Yeah.
streak might end. It's like it's going to
Maybe.
end eventually. Like I
I
don't
think
think any of those players are interested in Bundesliga games.
100%. And I think Chelsea are going to pay for losing Thomas. Like he's a great coach. Like Chelsea should have kept him. He won the Champions League with them. I don't know. Chelsea is just crazy. A couple of other news we touch upon: United getting a lot of bids from Qatar and other rich people around the world. Uh, I I kind of feel the sale is imminent, but not sure.
It'll just go to the highest bidder. I don't think the Glazers care
Hmm.
one bit what sort of hands they're putting this into because they don't have passion for the club, right? It's not like they've
Yeah.
been owners for 40 years and they
Hmm.
took this thing from small little club to big club.
Yeah.
They're just like whatever. We're making a good financial move. We don't care what happens when we're gone,
Hmm.
right? The
Yeah.
famous don't know what offside is, right?
Yeah.
The purchase was an investment. The sale is also just financial.
Probably, you're right there. And again, I think this is kind of hurting United right now. A lot of players are in the contract here, like Rashford is under contract here, De Gea is in the contract here, and they're not signing extensions because I think this is one of the factors they're not signing. Of course, money is a factor, but they also want to know who the owner is and how much they can cash out from them, right? If it's a Qatar owner, they're probably going to ask them more money.
Yeah, why not? Their agents are probably like, just sit tight. You'll be
They
fine.
sit tight, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As a United fan, I'm kind of like I'm excited for the new coach. I think I like Ten Hag, but players are all in the fringe right now. No one's signing. Garnacho's deal is up. Like there's so many players whose deal is up the end of the season. So we'll see. By the way, April's coming up. Pretty big month for three EPL teams: Man City, Chelsea, and United. Man City's in the Champions League, and they're number two, fighting for the top spot. Chelsea, they're in Champions League. I think that's going to be their only hope to like
Mhm.
make it back to the Champions League. I don't think they can make it to the top four, maybe top six. Again, they have to fight it out. And United, Europa League, FA Cup, and a top four bid. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty big, busy month for all three teams.
Yeah, a lot of squad rotation is going to be necessary.
Hmm.
Again, the Champions League is really big. It's two ties. How do you plan around that? I think if
Hmm.
City advances, they punt on the league. I really think they punt on the league. Because then they've got the semis in May, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like if you got a tight first leg, which we expect, then they're going to need
Hmm.
their bodies for the second. And if they advance past Bayern, then I think like they would shift their focus a little bit in that
Hmm.
direction, especially because you're playing someone good, right? Like the way the draw broke down is it's sort
Hmm.
of like one strong side and one
Yeah.
not so strong side. I'll respect Napoli though. I respect Napoli on the other side, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think Champions League is always Champions League. Like nothing can beat it. But yeah, I think let's see. Like so, talking about you talked about mentioned like squad rotation. What are the injuries we're looking at? Is Haaland okay? Like City. Let's look into City. Like Haaland, that was like the biggest one. He had a break during the international break, and you mentioned like it's fine. It's just a knock. He's back. Are we still sticking with that analysis, or any new updates?
Well, yeah. So I mean, there hasn't been too much of an update lately because of international break. But they obviously kept him out of their games, the Norwegian games, I should clarify.
Hmm.
Their European qualifiers. Wouldn't surprise me if he's not fit. Again, they made it sound like it was more precautionary, but again, wouldn't surprise me if he's not fit for this game. Everything I'm reading everywhere is it sounds like he's about 50%. So this is as of March 29th. It's about a 50% chance he's fit for the weekend.
Okay.
Sounds like Phil Foden is not going to play as well. He's got some sort of illness. So it looks like he might also be out this weekend.
Okay. Dude, but imagine the Norway team, Haaland and Martin Odegaard, like in midfield. I just wish they had like a couple of more pieces. I think that would be a killer of a team. Just like a
Yeah, it'd be
knock.
nice, right? They haven't seen them on an international stage in a while. I feel
Hmm.
like they'd be a sneaky tough
Yeah,
out, right?
yeah. So let's jump into Chelsea. Chelsea, of course, like the most probably one of the most injured soccer teams in the world right now. They're back. They have to win the Champions League. Are there
Yep.
any key injuries or comebacks that's gonna like give them a boost against Madrid?
Well, it looks like Thiago Silva is going to be out for a while.
Ah,
So I think he's out against Madrid.
damn.
Okay, and then I think Azpilicueta is going to be back by that point.
Okay.
I also like to think Mason Mount is going to be back.
Mason
Um,
Mount, I think it's all about the money. I don't think he was
yeah,
even injured.
I know
Like,
that's what he said. We don't really know. It's like this hip, groin, something going on with him. But I mean, yeah, like last time we checked in, Reece James, it sounds like
mhm.
he's not fully fit yet.
Yep.
So that was, I think it's the same thing like with from the World Cup. So it's like we'll see Wesley Fofana, same thing.
Okay.
Like we'll see Aubameyang,
Okay.
right? It's like a
Well,
back
pull the
thing. Like,
thick.
there's so many guys who are 50-50. I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm reading you the whole roster. That's
Yeah.
50-50 for their most important game. When's the first leg? April 11th or something? I'm just
It,
throwing a date out of the thin air right there.
okay.
Um,
I'll look into that. Keep
yeah,
going.
but basically they've got a couple of weeks, right, until the first
Mhm.
leg, and a lot of guys are 50% as of March 29th. So the odds are they're not going to be fully fit. There's going to be a couple of guys not available, and then they'll probably
Yeah.
be somewhere back. But then it's like, are they match fit? What sort of form
Yeah.
are they in? Right? How much can you
Mhm.
play them?
You're right. April 11th. Oh, Christian Pulisic is back. So
Mhm.
maybe. Let's see. Maybe he has to prove himself if he needs a transfer. If not, no one's going to pay him. Uh, United, they have probably like the busiest month amongst like most like compared to like any other English club. Uh,
Yeah.
Garnacho, sensation. He came on like a burst of new fresh air for United, but it looks like he's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Uh,
Yeah.
Anthony Martial looks like he's kind of 50-50.
Mhm.
What are we looking at for Garnacho?
It's gonna be it's like a grade 2 injury. You're looking at 6 weeks, right? So we're
Oh
not at
my,
the 6 week mark yet. Um, unfortunately, he's gonna miss a good chunk of April here too, right?
damn! That's
So
when we need him.
yeah, so it's tough, right? Because Obviously, Donny Van de Beek, Christian Eriksen, long term, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like I think there was Luke Shaw and Sancho
Yeah.
weren't fit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about Martial as well,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So they're not in a horrible position. You're always gonna have injuries. You can't expect to be fully fit and have like
Hmm.
20 guys available for selection. But
Hmm.
yeah, they're a little beat up. I mean, I don't think they're gonna not necessarily pull someone out of the academy for a game,
Well,
but
we have Pellistri. Apparently, he's like pretty good, and I saw he's pretty fast. He's quick. He's like, but let's see, he has to score. Like he needs like a breakout like Garnacho had.
yeah, maybe. I just think you'd turn into more of a situation where they probably lean on some of the defenders for a lot of
Hmm.
matches. The midfield maybe turns into a situation of like five guys rotating, maybe six, maybe,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So I think they might end up leaning heavily on a lot of guys. I think they should punt on Europa League. Honestly, they've won the title before. I understand they want trophies and
Yeah.
all, and there's money and all that, but
I don't
I,
think Europa League has a lot of money.
yeah, I would. I don't know. I would just punt on your role. It's tough. It's easy for me to say that. I'm not at ManU, but like I would want a nice, strong EPL finish. Third, I'd want the FA Cup because I don't think ManU's won the FA Cup in a while. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. They won like 8 years back or so under Van Gaal, I think.
Yeah, get
Maybe.
those, get it, because get that, and then you know what? Like if Europe do a little bit of squad rotation, like still take it seriously, but like I
Yeah.
wouldn't commit as
I
much to that.
think I'm not like Sevilla is a good team, but it's not like they're not like world
Yeah, it's not
beaters.
like you can't afford. It's not like you can't afford to rotate a guy or two out,
Yeah.
right? If you need to bring them on in the 60th or 70th, fine,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
But I don't think you necessarily need to be like, putting out a subpar lineup on the weekend because you want to win
Hundred
on
percent,
Thursday,
100%. And
right?
they have like a tough set of schedule. They play Newcastle this week.
Yeah,
That's not an easy go. Like that's a tough game. And then right after that they play Sevilla. So like you said, they have to pick the battles. And the FA Cup they play Brighton. So
who's having a good season, and you know what? That's gonna be the match of the season for them, right? Like
yeah,
they're going all out for that game.
yeah. And like in top again, we're pretty comfortable in number three, but again, it's not like given. So like City and Arsenal are probably like 1 and 2, most probably, unless like Arsenal just tank and City has like a shootout. But we'll see. I think Tottenham is number 4. A new manager might give them a good boost, but is that going to cure any of the injuries they have faced this season?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're pretty banged up as well. Although I do think it sounds like Hugo Lloris might be sort
Mhm.
of coming back
Nice,
here.
nice. That's good
Right?
news. That's good news.
No, I don't know what the situation is with Richarlison, but maybe.
Yeah.
And then Perisic, I think he's sort of in the window where he's coming back, right?
Hmm.
I think things are looking good, even though I think Ben Davies is still gonna be out and a few other guys. Like I do think they should be getting healthier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Uh, Liverpool. I don't know. I don't know what Klopp's doing. They beat the shit out of Man United,
Did
seven
they?
nothing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they just go like just fizzle out. They had the momentum. They kind of like have games in hand, but they have a tough matchup this weekend. They play City. I kind of feel like Klopp typically like rises up against big opponents,
Yeah.
uh, in especially after losing to Real Madrid. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. I don't think City is going to have like a walk-off win out here.
I think they need this game for top four. Like they don't like I hate using the term must win. Like obviously there's lots of games still,
Yeah,
but I feel like they need this game for top four. Like just even for their psyche, their mentality for the rest of the season, right? The win sort of out of their sails. But if you beat Man City, I think you have some belief and you rally the troops around
hmm
top four.
yeah. So right now they're sitting at number 6, 5 points behind Newcastle, um, and 7 points behind Tottenham. So yeah, it is a must-win for sure. Yeah, it's not if not like Newcastle or Tottenham. If they start winning, the point gap just like gets 7 and then 12. That would be like tough to catch up. And it's only 12 games in hand. Like it's not like they have like half the season. They're in the final stretch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sweet. I think that's like the biggest game. So your pick for City, Liverpool. I'm predicting a draw out here.
Yeah, I think a high scoring affair, like 2-2 draw. I think it'll be a good game.
That'll be a good game. I'm excited for that game. Well, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining. That was just like a quick recap of the Money League. I'm pretty sure after this week, awesome action this weekend, we'll have more to talk about next week. Thanks a lot, Harges, and hopefully Milsey can join us next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.